everybody.
Hi everyone.
Mr. and Mrs. Traveler here.
ElleKosGlam at home.
Well, welcome and thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. And as always, we want to come to you today and bring you some more information as we chug along in this brand new adventure that we're all in right now in this crazy times. So our endeavor is to keep you guys updated and informed as things begin to progress. Today's news that we're sharing with you is not necessarily cruise related, although there is a little bit of cruise mixed in there. And some of it may actually be cruise related. You know, some of these things could be transferred over into the cruise line. We don't know. But today we're talking about Orlando area, Disney World, Universal, those kind of things. Getting back to the tourism kind of business that we are known for here in this neck of the woods.
Yes, I'm so excited to get back to our new norm, which is not normal, but is going to be our new norm. And we're going to talk about a lot of that today. We're going to cover a lot of things. So if you are in quarantine and you locked in, go pop some popcorn, go make some tea, go put your dinner on, because it's going to be sort of a little lengthy video, but we want to make sure we get all the facts correct. We hesitated on this video because we wanted to make sure we come with the facts. We do not procrastinate. We do not guess. We make sure we get the facts and then we present them to you. So here we have the facts today on Disney's reopening.
I do so enjoy the traffic that we have now.
Me too.
without the tourism, but
well, be honest, why don't you?
But I miss everybody though too.
Me too.
It's like if we could have a locals only lane somewhere, it would be great.
That would be awesome. But I'm ready to get back to the parks. I'm ready to get back cruising, and I'm ready to spill the tea.
All right, so let's start to chit chat about it. Where are we going today? What you got?
Okay, today we'll be talking about Orange County Task Force release. It was actually released last night, very late. I almost woke up Mr. Traveler when I found out that our mayor and governor had meetings with Orange County Task Force, their whole team, and put together these guidelines to let us know what we need to do in order to open the theme parks, the restaurants, and hotels. So we're going to be putting up some footage. We have a lot of things to read, so we hope you enjoy the footage, and we're going to get started with the facts.
Yeah, and so obviously they got together and discussed these things because obviously Orlando area is one of the most traveled places in the world, not just the country, in the world.
In the world.
We get, during like Christmas time and certain times of the year, we get so many people here. It is bananas how many people come here. And then with that obviously comes the risk of disease and everything else what we're going through coming here, because we're going to have people coming from all over the place. So obviously they want to try to get back to business, but we have to do it in a safe manner.
Yeah, it's very important that we keep everybody safe, and I am really excited that Disney put this together and the task force put this together. I trust Disney. I feel like if it's time to go back to the parks, they'll make sure we stay safe. That's one thing I am excited about, is going back and making sure it's safe. We live in a very safe area, and we want to keep it that way. So these are the guidelines that they came up with, so we're going to go ahead and get started.
Mayor Demings is our mayor here in Orlando, and he is obviously part of this task force, and as along with the governor. And they have came out and said that they think that June is a realistic time frame for reopening the area and getting things back to normal. He said June is a realistic time. Obviously, they're going to do that opening very systematically. So what they have implemented is what they call phase opening. So right now what they're proposing is a 3-phase to get us kind of back to normalcy. So we'll kind of go through the different businesses and amusement parks and talk to you a little bit about what those phase openings are going to look like. So let's start with phase 1.
So the guidelines for the theme parks, well, we will be covering large ones and small ones. And the large theme parks will be Disney World, Universal, and etc. I didn't see any information on SeaWorld, which was kind of weird because that is also a large park, but they hadn't covered SeaWorld yet, so we're waiting. So the first thing they want to do is they want to take markings of 6 feet apart in rides and attractions. They want to make sure that they have a time queue. So when you go to the park, you're going to have a set time to come back. Staff is to regularly write down services at random. I don't like the word random, but we'll talk about it. In phase 1 and 2, staff who are 65 and older are encouraged to stay home because that's a very sensitive time and they'll be testing the parks out. So I think phase 1 and 2 is really critical for the 65 and over crowd. And then it's going to mandate that all employees have to wear face masks. It's going to be touchless hand sanitizers at each ticketing entry and turnstiles.
And that's one that bothers me about the opening up of the parks right there, is that particular one right there. I would rather see them go to some kind of facial recognition or something as opposed to the biometric print with your finger. Simply because everybody's got to touch that thing. Touchy, 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 touchy. I'd rather see them do like like the technology on the iPhone. When you look at the phone and it unlocks the phone. I'd rather see something like that than the biometric. I don't want to touch the thing, but maybe that's something they'll come out with. I don't know.
There's going to be temperature checks for staff prior to the shifts. Temperature above 104 must not enter the premises. You will have to leave. And all employees with flu-like symptoms are advised to stay home. There's going to be wiped down for all railings and surfaces regularly. And phase 1 will be 50% capacity. Phase 2 will be 75% capacities. And there is no set dates on these phases yet, but they are coming.
Right. But again, we'll go back to what the mayor said, that they felt comfortable with June right now. And maybe one of the indicators is that we saw Disney Cruise Line. What did you say their date was?
It's going to be June 17th. For the small theme parks, which is Gatorland, Fun Spot, International Drive with the Big Wheel Icon Park, these guidelines are suggested. Cast members will have to randomly and regularly wipe down surfaces just like the big parks. Rides and attractions will be in queues. They will have also the tape markings to keep the guests 6 feet apart. That's going to be very important. Seniors are also encouraged, 65 and plus, to stay home. Phase 1 and 2, and they are required, just like the big parks, touchless hand sanitizers devices at every ride and attraction entry. There's going to be touchless hand sanitizers at ticket booths, and you're not going to be able to touch it. And then all surfaces and railings will also be wiped down. All employees will be required to wear face masks as well. And the same goes for temperature checks. 100.4 degrees or greater will not be allowed. You won't be allowed to work inside. And phase 1 and 2 will also, for the small parks, be 50% capacity. And then phase 2 is 75%. So it's the same for the small park.
So I'm rambling, but I'm still thinking about the fingerprint thing that Disney and Universal have. I'm thinking about, this goes back to the cruise line. How do we get on and off the cruise ships?
We have to give them our cell card.
And then
they
look at our pictures.
They look at the pictures.
Yeah.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah. So maybe like when your car comes into the parking lot, you could
use a card.
Yeah, I don't know. But then again, I don't know how it would work with that. That would work for season pass holders, but what if people are just coming in for the first time? I don't know. Just thinking out loud.
Now, just to let you know, these are not definite guidelines for the reopening of the parks, but this is an initial set of them, and things could change before the final version release. Also, there is no date for reopening right now, but we're waiting at this time, and as soon as we know, we will let you know. But this is not speculation. This was actually our town meeting. So this is where we are right now. And do you want to move on to hotels?
Yeah, so hotels also are going to be, all these establishments are part of this phase 1 too. So the phase 1 of the hotel will be limited housekeeping, which I'm gonna say that's fine with me, because I'm telling you, for the most part, when we're in hotels, I generally put the do not disturb thing. I really don't like them coming in there. You know, that's if we're gonna be there just for 2 or 3 nights. It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother me either.
We usually make the bed up ourselves, and then the only thing we do is tell them we need extra towels when we get there, or maybe get some extra towels. We don't.
We really don't have a lot of interaction with housekeeping.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that'll be limited housekeeping. So that's fine with me. The other thing is remote check-in, like the app check-in kind of a deal, and you do your card and everything through that. So, and a lot of people do that now anyway.
They do. So with hotels, the guidelines will be phase 1, housekeeping services to be limited and allow for minimum guest and employee exposure. Phase 1, promote, if available, mobile check-in, which means it'll be a touchless entry. It'll be some type of wristband or face recognitions. They're going to be changing all that. Also, housekeeping services only clean upon request when guests depart. Also allowing employees to work from home if not playing a critical role in servicing guests. Only deliver room service to the guest door, providing self-parking. Promote social distancing of all guests. Recommend touchless sanitizer at entry. Increasing cleaning services, additional sanitizing services through cleaning companies. And phase 1 and 2 is encouraged for 65 and older to stay home. What's mandated is employees have to wear masks, they have to use sanitizer, it has to be in plain visible sight. All employees with flu-like symptoms are advised to stay home. Front desks to sanitize themselves on a regular basis. Consistent cleaning of all guest areas. Front desk to utilize sneeze guards, which is shields over your face.
Either that or they'll put the plexiglass on.
They'll do the plexiglass or a shield.
That's probably what it's going to be. Yeah.
That's probably what it will be. Remove all service items in guest rooms to include glassware, coffee cups, etc. Mini bars not to be stocked. And as you can see on the screen, there's a lot more things that they have to do that's mandated. This is required. This is not a suggestion, or this is required as a guideline. I feel like they should be doing this anyway. All of this stuff should be
and
done
I think
anyway.
I think they should put, you know how they have shampoo and conditioner in the rooms. I think they should put
in the shower.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes they have the little ones on the bathroom sink, the lotion and that
The
stuff.
samples.
They should put a small hand sanitizer in there too. No.
Do you think they'll take them? People will still?
Yeah, no, they're for you to take. That's the shampoo.
You're talking about the tiny little
Yeah, the little small ones. Yeah.
I'm talking about the ones that you push on the wall.
Well, the ones you push on the wall will be down in the lobby or whatever.
Okay.
But I think in each room, and for the cruise ships too, in each cabin, I think the cruise line should provide, a personal size one.
That's a good idea. I hope they watch this video.
Yeah.
Because that is an excellent idea.
Make it happen.
Yes, make it happen. We like that. We want to be safe. We don't mind.
June
We will
17th.
follow the
So
guidelines.
that may be an indicator of kind of when they're looking. We don't know. This is just disclaimer. We're just kind of guessing here. But they did say they feel comfortable with June. And I think it's important to note that they're doing 50% capacity, but isn't it also just Florida residents?
It is.
Okay.
I think they're going to test it with Florida residents first, and then whoever is extra, they're going to let them in. But I'm sure the lines will not be a happy place to be in at that point in time.
Well, 50% capacity. I mean, that's very manageable. I mean, that's nice.
Is.
And if any of you ever done any of the like the new Star Wars ride where they have the queues to come back. So if they implement queues on a lot of these rides, I was a little bit leery about it at first, but we did the queue for the Star Wars, and we literally got on the ride very quickly.
We did.
Even though it's a very, very popular ride, the queue system does work pretty well, and they space it out pretty good, and that's at a park at full capacity. So with it at 50% capacity, I'm sure it would just kind of breeze right through the line. So I think that's good.
Me too. And then last is hospitality, which is the restaurants. There's also guidelines and mandate things that they have to follow now.
All right, so let's talk about the restaurants around here. And they are, of course, recommending paper or disposable menus, which isn't the best for the environment, but like I'm grossed out sometimes when we touch some of those menus at restaurants.
Yeah,
anyway.
they be greasy plastics.
I try not to best. Like I'm the type of person. She'll tell you.
Yes, he is.
Like if we get something with French fries, what do?
He picks it up with a napkin.
I pick it up with a napkin and squeeze it. I'm just
if it's ketchup, he doesn't touch it.
I try not to touch the mayonnaise.
I do.
I'm kind of germy.
Because I use hand sanitizer.
I'm like a germy phobia anyway. So that's not a bad thing. Encourage takeout and online orders. I'm not big on that because I'm gonna tell you one thing that I miss. I miss sitting down and having dinner with my wife in a nice restaurant. I miss that.
I miss it too. Thank you.
So we've had enough carry out.
I'm over it.
Touch the sanitizer in the places, at the doorways or in bathrooms, I hope. And of course, just like the other phase, the age 65 and up are recommended not to participate in phase 1 or 2. Mandates for the restaurants are hand sanitizer at every table, which I was gonna mention.
You did.
And I'm wondering why they said that that's a mandate for the restaurant, but not for the hotel. It's interesting, right?
It should be both.
But I guess in the hotels you got the sink there, so you can do that, right? So I understand that. Hand sanitizer every entry. All employees required to wear a face mask. Temperature checks for the staff prior to the shift. If they have a temperature of 100.4, they must not enter the premises. So that's a difference. They're saying you can't come in.
No.
It's not
you won't be allowed.
Like symptoms, advise to stay home. Doors to be wiped regularly. All staff behind counters must wear gloves, except for the bartenders. Bartenders to sanitize hands after making each drink order. Seated tables to be 6 feet apart. That's going to be interesting. Phase 1, limit restaurant capacity to 50%. Phase 2, 75%.
What do you think about the limited restaurant and bar capacity?
Well, if they do the 50%, then they should be able to keep people apart. But here in Orlando, that's going to be, well, it's phase 1. So if the parks are 50%, they're 50%. But sometimes there can be some crazy line of restaurants around Disney World.
It gets really packed around here.
So the one thing I am looking forward to a lot is because we are like really big movie heads. Like we love going to the movies.
Yep.
And that's been not fun not being able to go to the movies. That's something that we enjoy. So the AMC is saying right now that they're anticipating July.
Yep.
So that's what we're looking for. If you never did their Stubs program, I love their Stubs program.
Me too.
So we pay like $20. It's like $21 a person each month, and you get to go to up to 3 movies a week.
And we love movies.
We don't go to 3 movies a week, but if you think about it, that's $42. So if you go to 2 movies in a month, you've paid for it, and we usually go to 3 or 4.
We do a lot. We like to go to the movies, especially IMAX and the dine-in.
Then you get discounts on some of the food.
So good.
You earn points. And you can get some free food, and you get free stuff on your birthday.
It's our date night.
So it's a pretty good deal. If you go to the movies a lot, check out the AMC Stubs.
It's very warm here in Florida, so we have to have places that you can go in and sit down and get some air conditioning because it's hot. It's very hot here.
Just like the other ones, the AMC's talking about, like 50% capacity, keeping people 6 feet apart and all that. So we'll see. And they do that because with the AMC, at least the AMC here, you have to pick your seats. Either are on the app or when you get to the movie theater, on the screen you have to pick your seats. So I guess they'll probably have them blocked out or something, I guess.
Speaking of it being hot outside all the time in Florida, we probably get maybe 1 month break. That's January from the heat. The body temperatures, when you're checked, I'm not sure if they'll be accurate because it's already hot outside. So comment below and let us know what you think about the temperature checks. What do you think, Mr. Traveler?
I mean, I don't know how those things work, but I know when we were on MSC, came back from the ports, I know I was very, very warm coming back from there, sweating.
Me too.
And they use the device put on your forehead.
Yeah, the temperature gauge.
And we got on board the ship. I don't know. I couldn't see what the temperature was, but it looked at them with a sign, so I don't know.
And it worked out just fine.
Don't those things like go a little bit deeper in your head or something, or is it
just
the surface?
It's almost like an outside X-ray. It's like a LED light in there or some type, and then you just scan it.
I can see it like 10 years from now. Hello, this is the law firm of Schwartz and Bigman. Have you or your family suffered from having your temperature taken 100 times in the summer of 2020? And now you have something growing out of your head.
So speaking of which, when people complain, do you think that it'll be worth it going to Disney now? Should Disney lower their prices because there's going to be 50% capacity now and there's changes? What do you think? What do you think, Mr. Traveler? Comment below and let us know what you think. But I want to know what Mr. Traveler thinks.
Disney ain't lowering nothing.
No. If you breathing, they're charging.
Yeah, Disney ain't lowering nothing. Matter of fact, they're going to be in the business of trying to find out how to make up that revenue that they've lost.
So, absolutely. I think they're going to make it up with the food and beverages.
Yeah, they're gonna figure out a way to make that up. Now I gotta say, I mean, we're here, very close to Disney, so obviously I'm looking forward to getting back there and doing it. We're privileged enough to call that place our date night at some night, so
I'm very grateful and very humble.
You know, it's cool. But if I was still in Michigan trying to come down here, I don't know if I'd be in a real big hurry to come down here with
everything going on.
Given the restrictions, you know what I'm saying? I just don't know. So I think I would be more in the mind of just like, let's see how phase 1 and 2 go, and wait for things to kind of get back to normal.
Sure.
So
I can understand that, and everybody wants to be safe, so it's no problem with waiting.
They may have, you know, I don't know. They may have some promotions, but Mickey Mouse is masterful at making money. They're going to figure out, you know, they might give you a little. See, it'll be longer things, right? So it'll be like, the longer you stay, the better deal you'll get on the ticket. Like they do it now. The longer you stay, because they know they've got you there. You're a captive audience. They know you're going to spend money in the park. So it's probably the same tactic.
Yes. So the calendar for Disney to book things is May 17th, but I know that there's no reservations accepted right now.
Our understanding is you've been able to get into some hotel reservations still.
Yeah.
The fast passes are not available. Like if you log into the Disney app, you can't get a fast pass or anything at this point. Which I've been looking kind of like every day, but it's always like parks are closed. But you know, I think the rest of the hotel piece is a little encouraging. So we'll see what happens.
So the parks have been closed for 45 days as of today, and if you are an annual pass holder, they have extended options for you. And if you want more information, you should call area code 407-939-7277, and they will give you more information. I know that I'm an annual pass holder, me and Mr. Traveler are, and they gave us a nice option. So you may want to call and get some information if you are an annual pass holder.
Did we hear any information about Disney Springs or anything? That's just, they got so many restaurants, so I imagine that would be part of the phase 1.
You know what I learned about Disney Springs? I learned that Disney Springs have, you know how you think Disney own all of Disney Springs? No, there's some families that actually own some stores inside Disney Springs that's not attached to Disney. There's some family-owned restaurants in there, and I just found that out. I thought it was all Disney, but it's not. But
I imagine Disney's got to be the landlord.
Yes.
So I'm assuming they're under those restrictions.
They are.
So I'm guessing here that when they start this rollout, because they have so many restaurants in there, that'll be part of the phase 1.
That should be part of phase 1.
I'm looking forward to getting to. I really want to see that Cirque du Soleil. I was really disappointed because we had our Cirque du Soleil tickets for somebody's birthday.
Yes, mine. That's okay. I'll get there. I just wanted to make sure we were safe, and I was glad to see another birthday, and I was glad to be breathing that day. That was what I was very grateful for. We'll make up for my birthday later and celebrate.
I think we're just, just talking to people, and people have been on the phone with, and encounters with people. I think people are just kind of getting a little itchy to get back to start the process of getting back to normal. And
yes. We are so glad that you watched our last video of us at Cocoa Beach. We appreciate it. We was glad to give you a little bit of motivation and inspiration, a little bit of encouragement to make your day a little better. This is a tough time for us, and it's unprecedented time, but we will get through it. I think we're on the other side now.
I certainly hope so.
We are. Thank you so much for watching. Life short.
Have fun, guys.
See the world. Bye, everybody.
Bye.